Now, it is worth noting if you're looking for 3 hours of Batman just punching people in the face really hard, that's not what this movie is. Two favorite parts of the movie: Robert Pattinson, Paul Dano. They are incredible. Also, there's not going to be any spoilers, so you can relax, you can watch. There is one really great thing about Robert Pattinson's performance in this movie. He is Batman for most of the runtime. He is in the Batsuit, and that's really cool to see. I like seeing Batman dressed up as Batman. This was a decent amount of the story is around Bruce Wayne, but I like that despite that, he's Batman for most of the movie. That is a huge plus. Paul Dano is incredible. Paul Dano is an incredible actor. He absolutely crushed it in this movie. I think he definitely plays Riddler close to how someone would play the Joker, but at the same time, the Riddler is a psychopath. So it makes a lot of sense that he played him similar to Batman's other very famous psychopath villain. Also, Paul Dano, I gotta say, a lot of the scenes that he's in, whether he's dressed as the Riddler or not, steals them, completely steals them. He has such a presence on screen, and what he does in this film with the material he's given, he is phenomenal. He really took this role and just ran with it. This is also a really, really fantastic portrayal of the Riddler, and I gotta say, it does make me a little sad that we have not seen this character on screen before. Nah, well, not that one. But this version of the Riddler is absolutely phenomenal. Zoe Kravitz also does a phenomenal job as Catwoman. This is one of, if not the best portrayal of Catwoman we've seen, at least in a live action movie. She is so good. The romance that is brewing between her and Batman, which is all over the comics, and I think the history is pretty well documented, but I love that it's in this film as well, and it was really cool to see in live action. Christopher Nolan sort of tackled it a little bit, but this one felt a lot more natural. Now, I know a lot of people sort of freaked out because the movie is super long, and I am the first one to complain about movies that are 3 hours or, like, honestly beyond 2.5. But the story's paced really well. I think there were a couple moments where I thought, yeah, this scene is a little bit long, but overall, everything in the movie pretty much had to be there in terms of the story that they were telling. I think there's a reality where if this was animated, this is probably a 2-part thing, kind of like The Dark Knight Returns, parts 1 and 2, the way they split that up. That was also 3 hours total. I think for a live action film, being 3 hours, it felt like it was paced pretty well to me. There definitely weren't that many moments where I was like getting kind of bored, but there are a couple of scenes where maybe they could have shaved a couple minutes off. But overall, for the most part, everything in this film needs to be here. And so from that point, it works really well. Now, it is worth noting, if you're looking for 3 hours of Batman just punching people in the face really hard, but that's not what this movie is. This is a slow, methodical murder mystery film. There are a lot of clues. There is a lot of tracking down different characters throughout the movie. And overall, it's a detective story. This is Detective Comics after all. And I could see some people maybe not being super excited about the detective aspect, but that's a big part of Batman. And I really enjoyed that they captured that he is one of the world's smartest detectives. Eventually, he becomes the world's smartest detective. Not quite in this movie, but he gets there eventually. I like that this film tackles year 2 Batman. This is a much more raw Batman, somebody who has not been Batman for very long. He's still kind of learning the ropes. He's also not as invincible as the later Batman, the one that just kind of breaks through all those plot holes because he's Batman. No, this Batman gets beat up a lot in this movie, and it is good to see that because he's young. He doesn't really know what he's doing yet, and he's still kind of finding his way. The fact that this movie is tackling year 2 Batman, it's a really interesting point in Batman's life. I was super excited to see this version of Batman because if we look a little further down the line, and we've seen Ben Affleck and we've seen Christian Bale most recently, those two, that's an older, more refined Batman who knows what he's doing. And this version of Batman is basically a rookie, and he messes up a lot, and he's still kind of figuring things out. But it was really fun to see the growth that Bruce Wayne and Batman have throughout this film. Also, whoever heard the beginning of that Nirvana song and thought this would be a great Batman theme, you're a genius. You're a genius. The slow piano for that Batman theme every time he shows up. It's so good. That theme is so good. Honestly, I already know this is gonna be one of those movies that I'm thinking about for a while, and I'm probably gonna be online looking at all these Easter egg videos and figuring out what I missed, and I hope you are too. I had a lot of fun watching this movie, and I'll be honest, I am already looking forward to seeing it again.